Hi, Julia. My husband is done tuning up this Morse machine. So you can see here, tuned it up for my friend Julia because it belongs to her. So I am just going to do a quick run through of how to thread it and the basic settings. As you're setting up, there are a couple of things that you should know, just in case you don't know. Let me show you what's in here somewhat. So we have here some plugs. This little short plug is actually for the light, and it gets plugged right into this box here. If that is not plugged in, the light will not work. So here's a power cord. I'm going to plug it in to my extension. This is the foot pedal. It's also permanently attached in there. If for some reason your cord is detached, you need to seek help, someone who knows how to repair electrical wires. So when your machine is plugged in, you have power. It'll go simply by pushing this down, usually with your foot, like that. The light doesn't have to be on for it to be on this machine. So the design of this pedal is pretty simple. The rubber parts touch the floor. Your foot, the way I like to do it, I like to rest my foot here and push down with my toes. Some people prefer it the other way, and they'll rest their foot on the floor and push down with their toes like that. You do what's comfortable for you. So I'm going to put this flat on the floor, and then I'll do a different shot just to demonstrate that part. So I've placed my foot pedal on the floor. I have my left hand is holding my fabric, and I'm just going to make it comfortable and gently press down. The more I push down, the faster it'll go. There we go, and when I lift up, it stops. It's as simple as that. We have a bobbin right here, and a spool of thread. All right, hopefully you can see this pretty well. Generally, with these machines, you want to make a letter N when you thread the machine. So you're going to put it on one of these two rods here. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to go through one of these holes. Generally, if you have it on the left rod, you go through the left hole and vice versa. Don't know how important that is. It will be important if you ever decide to use a double needle, and then you'll have two spools of thread. I'm not doing that today. Okay, so now I've gone through this hole and down. So we're going to make a letter N, but we're doing it backwards. So right here, we put the thread in this crack. Then it goes up. And move it again. When you're threading your machine, you want this to be up in the up position, and always turn this towards you, but you can see as I turn it, it goes up and down. All right, oops, got caught. Okay, through the crack, through the hole, and then there's this little curly Q. I put it behind to get it into the curly Q. Then, all right, in the back here is the knob for the light. So I'm going to turn it, and that light turned on. All right. There's another curly Q back in there. So we'll put it through that. Will someone please bring me my glasses? I forgot about that. Just on the shoe rack, I think. Thank you. If you wear glasses, put them on before you do this. Okay. Then we go through this other curly Q thing here. They're just guides. I call them curly Qs, but they're just guides. And then we have the needle going front to back. The eye of the needle. And we put the thread in going front to back. My thread is a little bit worn, so we're just going to make a nice tip. Put it through the needle. If it's up, you can see it easier. There we are. Okay, once your thread is through the needle, use this lever here to lift up the presser foot and put that thread right through the center gap. Now we're ready to put in the bobbin. So we're going to lift this. Can you see that pretty well? There we go. Lift it like that. There's a bobbin case with a handle. The handle needs to come out, so it's on a hinge. It needs to come out before you pull it out. So this is the handle I'm talking about. When it's in the machine, you want to pull this handle out first and then remove the bobbin. It'll release. When you let go of the handle, it locks it in place. So here you can see this little crack on the bobbin case. We're going to put the thread through that. So drop my bobbin in. When you pull the thread, it should turn in a clockwise motion. So I'm going to put this thread into the crack and then pull to the right till it snaps in place right here. Now I'm ready to insert my bobbin. So right now, if I tip this over, it will fall out. I can just demonstrate that. Oh, there it went. The way to hold it in place is to open up that little hinge handle. So here I go again. Thread's going to the right, drop it in, check it, yep, it's turning clockwise. Put the thread into that crack, pull it all the way over. Okay, then the thread needs to go to the left. So to hold it in place, I'm holding it with my fingers until I pull this out, and now it is clamped in there. To insert it into your machine, this tail needs to be standing up. The thread needs to be going to the left. I'm going to put it into the spot in the machine and then let go of this handle. This is where the bobbin will be inserted. You can kind of see the top has a notch where that tail will go in as it's poking out. This is not in focus. Okay, and I'm holding the handle, but you're not going to be able to see me do this. So I do want to show you though, another option would be to, oh, is it locked? We can tip this up and approach from underneath as well. And I just grabbed it and tipped it up. But if you do that, you want two people to make sure that it's steady. All right, we're going to go back to the other view and I'll insert it. I have a helper now who's holding it up for me. Thank you. So now I'm just going to center it and put that tail where it belongs and let go. And we'll put it back down. Thank you. Now it's time to go fishing. So our bobbin is in place, but our thread is still trapped down there. So we already thread at the top. We're taking our top thread and we're going to hold it taut. And I'm going to turn this, I want to call it a gear shift. Turn the wheel toward myself to make the needle go down and up, and it'll catch that bottom thread. So here we go. All the way down, all the way up. It caught the thread, so with my scissors, I'm just going to sweep it underneath. Now we have both threads up where we want them to be. All right, now you have your thread in. That's the biggest, hardest thing. So our settings, this is stitch length. Down here you can see we have a straight setting and zigzags, and of course it gets wider and wider for buttonhole. The closer you want the stitches to be, the smaller this number should be up here. So if you're making a buttonhole, it'll be way down by 1 or 0. And right now, normal setting, I would personally keep it around 3 or 2.5, just for sewing fabric like this that's not knit. So we're going to do a straight stitch. I'm going to put my fabric where I want it to be, place the needle, lower my presser foot, and then push down on the pedal. All right, so of course, avoid when you're putting your fabric in, avoid putting your finger underneath this because it's going to go up and down, and I have smashed my finger that way. I don't recommend it. So all we have to do is sew all the way. When you're done, turn your wheel to make sure this is up, lift your presser foot, and then pull it out. Make sure that there's enough thread that it's not going to leave the needle when you're done, and clip it. Now we have a nice straight stitch. Let's do a zigzag. For the zigzag, I am going to move my knob where I want it to be, and then I'm going to push down and over with this black one to hold it in place. I don't need to move anything up top, I don't believe. Elastic, blind, stretch, no. Okay? Again, place my needle, place my presser foot. When you start, it should be near the top. And here we go. Oh, it didn't work, Tyler. Oh, yes it did. But I'm going to put it to 1. Put the stitch length to 1. That's beautiful. So I turned it up, pulled my press foot up, pull it out, cut close to my fabric, and I'll show you the zigzag that I got from it. So here's our straight, here's our zigzag. Okay, I'm going to put it back on straight. Alright, so I'm going to push in with my hand and push left with my scissors to get it back to the left. Now, that being said, that's the proper way to do it. This usually doesn't move, so you don't even really need to use these black guys. So I'm going to move it all the way back again. Alright. Let's do a reverse, just so that you know how. So I place my needle, lower the presser foot. I'm sewing along and I get to the point where I want to reinforce. Oh, I forgot to change the stitch length. Be sure you do that. Okay, I'm putting it back to 3. All right, we're going along. Now I'm ready to reinforce it. All I have to do is push in. And so, it's going backwards. Then I release. And you're laughing. All right, the last thing I want to show you is how to put thread on your bobbin. And I've already pulled my thread out, but you want to unthread the machine. I just hold it here and then pull, and it comes right out. Then I'm going into the bobbin case. I'm going to grab that handle that we talked about, and now I'll release it and pull out my bobbin. Okay, we're going to pretend like this is empty. We'll take the end of the thread, put it between these two sides, and up through one of the holes. Great. Now, this thread needs to go on in this top tension shank and this bottom tension shank here in the front. Right here. Now, oh, I should have shown you this before. If you look closely at the bobbin, there's a little notch right here near the center. Let's put the thread back. That's going to line up with a little knob, a little metal bit right there on this bobbin shank. Okay, so when we put it on, we need to make sure that it aligns with that. Let me find it, there it is. Okay. Then we're going to push down and it all should snap into place. If it doesn't snap into place easily, it's not lined up right. Now, this is your clutch. We'll hold the large circle and turn left about a quarter turn to loosen. That's all it took. And that will stop your main needle from moving while you're loading your thread, and then we use the presser or the foot pedal. And you can see thread is going onto your bobbin. Now we have 3 colors on this bobbin. I'll undo it for you. To release it, we're going to push up, and there you go. When you're finished with your project, you will lift your presser foot, pull your project out, snip the thread, and use it. Now it's time to put away your machine, of course. I recommend that you keep a scrap of fabric under the presser foot, lower it for storage, turn off the light, then unplug your machine. There's enough space here for this cord if you just sort of wind it or fold it and place it in there. Then you can take your presser foot, your foot pedal, and I loosely wrap that in its cord and place it right here in the middle. Then you can put your lid on it. Now this lid looks the same on both sides, basically. Might have some smudges on one side or the other. So when you go to use it next time, you want to be able to place it on the table and have it be facing the right direction the first time. So I'm going to put a sticker on the base. And you can take it off when I give this back to you, Julia. But I have these smiley face stickers. I'm going to just choose one. And you can mark it a different way if you like. But if you make the smiley face, look at you, then when you put your machine down on your sewing space, you'll know which direction to face it. And that's all I have to say about that. Oh, there's this little knob here. Can you see that? Yeah. There's this little knob here that you can turn to kind of help it hold this in, and so that it won't tip up, fall out easily. And then these latches go up and then down. I hope you enjoy your machine. I hope it works for you. I hope you make some really amazing stuff. Bye.